Hello everyone, welcome to another video of data cleaning. So today in this video I'm going to teach you how to use LLM to clean any data. For example, I have got this beautiful data set. It doesn't look beautiful at the moment. It's a raw web scraped data set. So the data set contains information in different rows. In total there are 700 rows in this data set. So in each record, in each row, it's the record of a particular liquor. So we have got many liquor whose name are written here, the product name here, the name of the liquor such as Nika Coffee Grain 700 ml. So it's one of the liquor. So similarly, the description about it is mentioned here. SAP description, Nika Coffee Malt. Similarly, we have got different liquor. I am not the fan of liquor, but anyway, this row contains this particular column contains the name of different liquor. So here, to understand at the very beginning, is that this dataset was obtained by scraping a web platform or a web page, and each row contains the information about our liquor product. The name of the product name is written on this column, and all of the details are mentioned in different columns. We are not sure at this time with what different column means. For example, groups, we don't know what groups are supposed to hold. We can see it's empty at the moment. Similarly, SAP description, we don't know what SAP description is. So it's a raw data that is simply obtained from scraping the web platform or a web page. So our task here is to try to clean this data set in different stages. In the first stage, we gonna try to use LLM to clean the data set. So looking further into this data set, I can see a column here called long description ENAU. So it's the description about that particular product. So for example, if this is a product, then this is going to be its description. So anyway, this description are the description for the liquor products provided here, right? So we aim to use LLM to change this description into more readable form. For example, here in this particular cell we can see P, or we can also see any other things such as div. So these things are not really required. We might not really understand what these description are at the moment. So my aim here is I will fed this data set to LLM. Call the LLM. I'll fed the data set to LLM. So the LLM will get one row at a time. In the row, from the row, the LLM will get the product name only. Like for example, the product name is National Sailor 1573 500 ml 52%. Suppose this is the name of the product. Then I will ask the LLM to write the description about this product, because this name is standard throughout the world. So the LLM should have this information on its knowledge, and I will ask the LLM to write the description about it in more readable, human readable form. And I will ask the LLM to create a new column called description, where the description about this particular product will be stored. And after this thing is carried out for all the rows, which is 700 rows in this data set, the column that we have has to be dropped, because we don't need this column anymore. So that way the quality of the description will be high, and we can use it for further use. So that's what our aim is going to be. So let's look into it. So I have created this folder called data cleaning. So inside this I will create a new folder called using LLM. Yeah. So inside using LLM folder, so this is going to be our project folder. So inside it I will create a new folder called raw dataset set. Yeah, so I will just cut this and paste it inside this raw data set. Okay, I need to turn this off and then only it's gonna be copied. Okay, so we have the raw data set at its location now. We are going to carry out this cleaning process using Jupyter Notebook. We know that for creating Jupyter Notebook, first we need to set up a virtual environment at this particular location, because this is our project location, right? So I'm going to open the terminal at this particular location. So here we go, the terminal. Now I need to create the virtual environment. So for that, the command we need to type is Python venv. So that's the command we're gonna type to create the virtual environment, and the name of the virtual environment that we want to set. So in this case, I want to set the name as venv itself. So I'm executing it, and the venv is created here. So that's the virtual environment we have. Now after the virtual environment has been created, we need to activate it. So in order to activate it, we need to type its name, venv backslash scripts backslash activate. Yep. Now since we can see venv is shown here, that means we are inside the virtual environment now, and it has been activated. Now I will open Jupyter Notebook to carry out the cleaning process. The system Jupyter not recognized. Okay, so we have not installed Jupyter Notebook into the virtual environment, so we need to install it first. For that, we have the code pip install notebook. Yep. So now the notebook is going to be installed at this particular location. This is gonna take some time. It's taking some time now. Almost there. Okay, so we have the Jupyter Notebook installed successfully to this environment now. Now we need to launch the Jupyter Notebook by just typing this command Jupyter Notebook. The Jupyter Notebook opens at this particular location. Yeah, so this is the Jupyter Notebook I was talking about. So it has got virtual environment venv and the raw data set. Now we're gonna create a new ipynb file and name it as data cleaning, right? Data cleaning. Okay, so that's how we created the .ipynb file, and now we are going to carry out the coding part where we're gonna take the dataset as input and look for that particular column which contains the product name, and for each product name of the given row, or for each product name of the column, we're gonna ask the LLM to write good description for it. So after the notebook file has been opened, we need to install the necessary libraries that we are going to use in this project or in this cleaning process. So the first library that we're gonna use is let's comment it first. Libraries. Okay, so now these libraries are going to be installed into the virtual environment. So whatever we install here will be installed into the virtual environment, because the notebook is running in the virtual environment, as you can see. the notebook is running in the virtual environment. Yeah. So first thing we need to install is pip install pandas. Yeah, pandas. It will take some time for that to finish installing. After that, we're gonna install okay, so pandas has been installed successfully now. Then we're gonna install OpenAI, because we are going to use OpenAI as the LLM for this project. So we are installing OpenAI as well. After that, yep, okay, that's it. After that, we have to import the libraries. Okay, so how to import it. So after we have imported pandas, we need to, after we have installed pandas, we need to import it. So for that, we need to type this command, import pandas as pd, and import time, we're gonna use it later on. And then from OpenAI, we have already installed it, import Azure OpenAI. So this is another module inside the OpenAI library. So because we are going to use OpenAI model deployed from Azure, so we need to import Azure OpenAI from the OpenAI library. So executing it. So all these things are imported now. After this is done, we will need to load the data, right? Okay, one more thing. When we are going to use Azure OpenAI or any AI, we need to initialize it, right? So in order to initialize it, we need to provide some secrets or some codes or password, you can call it, into the code, right? So for that, we're gonna do the next step where we will import we will initialize the OpenAI client for this particular project. So we are going to initialize OpenAI LLM, right? So initializing OpenAI LLM means it's like logging into OpenAI, logging into any LLM platform through code. So you can think of it as if you are logging into ChatGPT platform using your username, password, and over there you also get a chance to choose between various models that's available there. So similar to that, we are going to initialize OpenAI LLM here through code. So for that, we're gonna do it by coding it in a certain way. So for that, you have to type Azure OpenAI endpoint, then Azure OpenAI API key, Azure OpenAI API version, Azure AI deployment. Yeah, so these are the various credentials you need to initialize the LLM. So here you're going to put your details, you have to first initialize the LLM from Azure platform. Over there you'll get the endpoint, the API key. So endpoint is like it's the URL of that platform, or you can say it's the API of that platform, and then you have to put its key, that is your login credentials, you can say. And you can also get it from your when you deploy the model on Azure. Then Azure OpenAI version, you need to select the version of what you have deployed there, and then also type the deployment of Azure OpenAI deployment. So that's the thing. I cannot share those details here with you from my deployed version. So after we get those details from the model that was deployed by you, you need to write down the code like this. Client equals to, so client means so you are initializing a client, so you are a client for OpenAI, right? So you have to type Azure. It's like calling the function, okay? And like you are calling the client function from Azure OpenAI. So that's the name of the function, and you have to pass the argument inside here. So arguments are API key equals to something, then Azure end point equals to something, comma, and then API version equals to something, right? So this thing from you will get it, how you'll get it, I'll say it to you now. So Azure OpenAI API key, so this gonna be your Azure OpenAI API key that you're gonna be pasting here. Then so these are the placeholder for now. You have to replace it with the keys you get from your deployment. Yeah, version deployment. Yep. So that's how you're gonna put those details here. I will put my detail, but I cannot share it to you. I have to hide it. Yeah. So here API key equals to this value, because this variable stores the API key, isn't it? And the endpoint will be this value, because it stores the endpoint. So these are the arguments you are sending to the function, right? API version. So this is the value. Okay. So that's how you're gonna initialize your client for the Azure OpenAI. So in my case, I will initialize with something, and I cannot show it to you. So I will just minimize this. How can I minimize it? Let's see. Minimize. Yep. So I can minimize it by clicking this button here. But instead of doing that, I will just copy and paste my credentials, and I will hide it from you guys. I cannot show it to you. Okay, so my details has been pasted here. So that's how you're going to initialize the LLM. Now the next stage is to load the Excel data, right? So how to do it is that we need to create a data frame equals to, we need to store read the data and store into the data frame. So data frame equals to it's using the pandas library pd.read excel So let's find out the location of the data, raw data set. Yeah, this one, copy as path and then paste it here. So this will take in your sorry, it's already the inverted comma counts by itself. We don't need to put it by ourselves. So the data frame has been saved by reading the Excel file from that location, and then let's read the data set that has been read. So df is a data frame. I'm going to check first three rows of the data set. PD data. Okay, what's wrong? So okay, it's a CSV file. Okay, it's a CSV file, so it should be read CSV. All right, so that's how the data set is looking after it has been imported into the data frame. So our task here is to look for the columns here. Let's first check the columns that's present there. Checking the existing columns in the data frame, right? So for that we need to do df dot columns. That's it. So these are the name of the columns that's present there. So from here we need the product name column, right? So we need the product name column. What's wrong? Columns. Sorry, and we need to provide the name of the column, right? So name of the column is product name. Let's try now. Still, what's wrong? Key ellipse. Okay. Okay. We don't need this. I think so. Let's see. Right. Yeah. So we got the values inside this column, which has 700 rows, and we are looking into this particular column at this time. So now for every value in this column, we need to provide prompt, or we need to provide this value to the LLM along with the prompt, with the set of instruction on what the LLM is supposed to do and what the LLM is supposed to return. So we need to provide a generalized prompt that works for all the cell of the column, and we will put placeholders and all. So let's do the next step, which is LLM description generator. So we'll define a function called generate description, whose task is to generate description for the provided product name, right? So we'll take the argument as product text. So it's gonna take the product name as the argument, and then we'll return the description, right? So for this so when we call this function, we are going to supply the product name here. So sometimes the product name the cell might be empty. In such case, the function should return a empty string, or returns nothing, return empty, because if the product name is not provided, then there is no point of getting the description. So in such case, in order to handle that case, we need to provide a condition that handles such kind of case. So for example, if the provided text, do use product text that we get as an argument is NA, which is NA is the module, is a function from the library called pandas. So from pandas library, is NA is the function which takes product text as argument, and if it returns true, that means it's not null. It's a null. I mean, the product text has nothing. If it returns false, then it has something, right? So if this is true, that means if this is true, or if product text dot strip text, if the product text might be in any form, so we need to convert it into a string, because we are going to use a function called strip equals to so on stripping the product text, which is a string, if we strip it, then if nothing comes, if it's empty, then we so in this both cases, suppose if it's a null value, or on stripping it, if the value is nothing, then we need to return empty string. Okay, return empty string. That's it. Okay, so we're gonna check for that condition. After that, we have to move forward. If this thing is not satisfied, then that means the product text has the text in it, and it has some value. So for that, we need to do something. We need to generate the response. So first, in order to generate the response, we will first create the prompt. So what to do with that with that product text? So prompt equals to, while we write the prompt, we need to write like this. So f means whatever we write inside 3 inverted comma, there will comma, we can, if we write f in front of 3 inverted comma, that means we can also add placeholder in the prompt. Okay, so I have this prompt. I will show it to you now. Yeah, here you go. So this is a prompt. So write a single paragraph, 2 to 4 sentences description of this alcoholic product. Explain it is what it is, its general taste or character, and one interesting detail. Keep it factual, concise, and helpful for a buyer. Do not use bullet points or line breaks. Right, so it's gonna only return the paragraph. So that's the prompt we're gonna provide, right? So so this is the prompt we're gonna provide, and dot strip. So this dot strip is to remove any extra spaces. So even here, dot strip, when we write it, so if the product text sometimes have extra spaces, then it will remove it, and whatever the text is present, if it's equals to nothing, then that's a empty product name. So dot strip removes the unnecessary spaces from the prompt. Right, so we have the prompt now. We need to store. So if this thing is not satisfied, so it's gonna move forward. It will see the prompt. Okay, this is the prompt, and after this point, it will we need to get the response from the LLM as response equals to client dot chat completion dot create. So we are creating a client. Okay, so we already had initialized initialize the LLM here, right? So now we are going to create a client. Client means a session. Okay, so creating one session. So one session means taking the one product, asking the prompt, getting the response. done, that response is done. So it's like creating new conversation. Okay, so it's like creating a conversation, right? So response equals to client. Client means the client is the function that we used. So client is the variable into which we have initialized the LLM and initialized the LLM API, right? We have logged. We can say we have logged in into the LLM by providing the login credentials, and we have that inside the variable client. So from the client, we have to create a new conversation. That is, so to do that, we need to type .chat .completion .create. Okay, that's how we're gonna create a new conversation, and we have to close it as well, right? So in between, we have to carry out the work here. So inside the chat, so what model we gonna use for that conversation? That's Azure OpenAI deployment deployment. So that we have already initialized before model. Then set the temperature. Temperature means means how creative you want the LLM to be. Okay, and what message do you want to send? Okay, message. Okay, we're gonna put the message here. In the message, we will provide the prompt like role. We set the role like you are this blah 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 role system. Okay, context. So we'll say context. Okay, this is one message. We can also provide another. So here we set the role as system. So we that means role system. System means we are asking to the LLM, which is a system, and we are setting the profile of the LLM, like you are the concise liquor product description, right? You write concise liquor product description. So that's the role of the system. And then then again we'll set the role where we are the user asking the question, user, and then set the context as prompt. Okay, so we are creating the session there, and then providing the details. So if we don't provide it, put it in the inverted comma, then it's gonna take that variable details, whatever is there, it will come here, right? So after the response, so if we do this, if we provide all these details by calling that function with chat completion create and providing these details, then it will return or reply for that particular question. Okay, and the reply will be stored in the response. Then after that, we have to return the response, return response. So the response we get, if we return it directly, then the response we get is in a non-readable form. I mean to say, it will have some coding words and stuffs. So we need to remove it, and it will also return few responses, like 2-3 responses. And so we need to choose only the first response. Okay, so it says 0. Okay, it's choosing the first response dot, then message. We are taking only the message from the response, because the response will have so many things. We will only take the message, and that on the generated message from the LLM. Then content, message content, then replace so basically we are cleaning the response. Okay, so replace the response might have values such as \n for the next line, okay, comma, space. Okay, so these things has to be replaced okay, so backslash n is the next line, has to be replaced with nothing, like empty space, and then after that clear all the empty spaces, stripe. Okay, so this will return good output. Okay, so this is the LLM description generator. All right, then we need to call that function in order to generate the LLM. Okay, so next task is generate the description with progress. Okay, so now let's say description, let's initialize a list. Let's see our IP descriptions equals to an empty list, then total equals to, like, how many rows are there. So total equals to length of df, so we know the length of df has the total, right? So that's the total number of rows. Okay, then we have to call the LLM or the LLM description generator for every row in the product list, product column. So description is the is for storing all the description for all the values. Okay, all the product name. So for all the product name, that it will get the description, comma, again another description, comma, and so on. So it's going to store the list of the descriptions, and later on we're gonna use it to put it as a column. Okay, that's how we're gonna work. Okay, so now we will create a loop where we will for every row in the column in the data set, we will look for product name, and then we'll call the LLM to get the description, and we'll append it into the description list. The obtained description has to be appended to the description list, and then we'll again move to the next row, and so on. So we need to loop the same task for all the values of the product name column. So for that we need to write the code. So it's a counter. This is a counter now for idx. For idx, value in enumerate for any value in enumerate. So that means for wait, let me first finish writing the code. Okay, so here for idx, so idx is a variable whose start is 1, so it has to keep on counting for the values in this. So till we have the values in this, it has to keep on start on rising. So the start is 1 and idx has to keep rising. Okay, values in enumerate any df. So for this column, and if the for any values there, we need to print which row we are working on. So f dx by total. The total, we know it's the length of the data frame. Then we write string or value. Okay, So this is going to print, and then this sending to description. Okay, that means, so we need to call this this function. So generate description and put value on as an argument. Then descriptions, descriptions is the list we have. Descriptions dot append the value we obtain from this stage. Okay, so that's how you're gonna loop it, and at last we will have data frame, and inside the data frame we will create a column called str description equals to where we will store the list directly, descriptions. Okay, any it's not defined. Oh, sorry, we don't have to put this value here. Okay, what happened? The description chat completion has no attribute completion. So it should be completions. Okay, so on executing it, it will start to do the cleaning for all the data. So that's 701. So let's do a small changes here. So we will modify the raw data, and we will just have 10 of it, so that we don't have to wait for a long time. We'll delete remaining all of the data. So let's delete it. Okay, so it's deleted now. We only have so many data. So I'm saving it, closing it, and we'll again start everything from the start. So it's running now from the very beginning. 1 2 3 4 5. Yep, it's running, going fine. So it showed error in this line. Okay, here it says temperature, generate values, temperature, client, create completions. Let me check. Okay, it has to be messages. Okay, now let's run it, and then let's run this one. Okay, still mistake. Okay, it's messages role. Okay, we also need to provide a placeholder here. Name equals to text. Okay, it's working fine now. Yeah. Now the new error here, descriptions dot append, name descriptions is not defined. Description is not defined. Descriptions dscripti descriptions length. Okay, so there's a spelling mistake. dscripti right. Okay, let's try it now. Yeah, it's working fine now. So it's okay. Let's stop it because it's doing for 701 rows. That's going to take a long time. So I'll reload and restart everything from start. Okay, so for that I will kill the kernel and restart kernel and do all the cells. from start, because now I have saved the data set to have 10 rows only. Now it should take those 10 rows now and do the cleaning and add the description for all the product name and create a new column there. Okay, what's wrong? Let's try it again. Restart. Yeah, busy. Yep, it's working now. Yeah, voila, it's working, but still it's showing 701 for some reason. What might be the reason? Let me see. Let's reload the page and see. Okay, let me check if the data set has been updated properly or not. It shows a lot of things. Let me see it. Yeah, it's there. Save. Yep, right. Read this again. Yeah, now it took the value only 10. Okay, now it's doing for 10 now. 3, 4. Nine. What happened? Description does not match the length of index 9. Why is it saying length? Okay, I just reloaded the page again and again restarted the kernel and it worked fine this time. So anyway, it worked fine. Now we need to drop the old column that the data frame has. So for that we need to drop the column. So columns. No, sorry. Drop columns equals to what column we want to drop. Right, so we want to drop long description EE and AU column and comma place equals to true. So we want to drop this column and then see how it's gonna look like after that. So we drop that column. It does not exist now. Now we need to add the new column and we need to add the new column. We already added actually. So we added a descriptions column, right? So the description column is already there. So we can check that by doing df dot columns. Okay, so we already have the descriptions column. Where is it? Yeah, description column, and this particular column we already had, like this column long disk, that's absent now. This is something as it was already there. There was one more long disk E and AU column which we dropped just now. Now after doing all of these, we need to export the file. So for exporting the file we have to write some code. Okay, and it's an Excel file, so we have to do it by save output. Okay, how to output it? How to do it is df is the data frame df dot to Excel. We want to save it as Excel. Then name of the file cleaned version 1 dot xlsx. Okay, comma index equals to false. Yeah, so index is equals to false means if it's absent, create this file and store the data frame. So when we do it, I think it should be pd dot, let me try, data frame as, okay, to excel, should be to excel. Okay, it doesn't have the module open pyxl, so we need to install this module at the very beginning itself, like here. Let's install it. Install. Alright, it will take some time. Yep, so then have to import it as well. Import. Yeah. Okay, now it's gonna work. Yeah, so now the file has been exported here, clean version 1 xlx. So this is exported. Let's check it there. So clean version 1. So when we open that file here, let's warp it. So we have this new column called description, which has the value for the LLM generated values. Okay, so this is how we dropped the previous column, and then we created a new column which has the LLM generated values. So this is how we clean the dataset using LLM to have a realistic information instead of some dummy web scrapped information, right? So see, if you read this data, it will be more clear to you. You can understand it very nicely, but the data we had before is really hard to understand. So that's how we use LLM to clean the data set. Okay, thank you so much for watching. This is the project where we have cleaned the data set using LLM. Thank you. Bye.